Welcome to the Hall of Presidents. Today we will be visiting the exhibit on the 25th President of the United States, William McKinley. McKinley was born on January 29, 1843, and elected in 1897. Before becoming president, William McKinley was both a representative and a governor of Ohio, as well as a Civil War veteran. McKinley ran for president near the end of the Panic of 1893 on the Republican ticket. He won 271 of the electoral votes, becoming the first Republican to win office in 24 years. As a Republican, McKinley fought in favor of establishing a protective tariff, supported the creation of a gold standard, and rejected the idea of free coinage of silver, believing it would lead to uncontrollable inflation. McKinley was able to oust his opponent, William Bryan. An interesting note about McKinley's campaign: he didn't travel very much. He held a front porch campaign, literally giving speeches off his front porch. He also was able to fundraise a staggering amount of campaign money, $4 million. McKinley entered office hoping to push the Dingley Tariff Act through Congress. He wanted to increase the tariff in order to provide income and encourage American industry expansion. Congress agreed, and the taxes on imports were raised. Taxes on imports reached a new high, averaging 46.5%. However, as his presidency continued, McKinley began to withdraw his support from protective tariffs, favoring trade treaties instead. The president also focused on the gold standard. McKinley believed that gold would be the ideal form of currency and that the dollar should be backed by it. McKinley originally supported bimetallism, where both gold and silver could be used to back the dollar. However, when discussions with other nations failed, McKinley gave up on bimetallism and signed the Gold Standard Act in 1900. This act backed all currency with gold. However, President McKinley is known less for his domestic affairs and more for his international affairs. McKinley would become president to lead America through a time of war. During his presidency, Cuba was undergoing a revolt. The Spanish had rounded up citizens into camps to try and suppress the rebellion. American citizens were furious. Sensational newspapers often exaggerated the ongoings in Cuba, leading to an intense spirit of jingoism. As tensions increased, McKinley sought a peaceful resolution. Although Spain did back off and closed its reconcentration camps, tensions were still high. Several more factors helped push the U.S. into war with Spain. The explosion of the USS Maine and the Delhomme letter. Cubans were still not satisfied with Spain. In response to a growing riot, McKinley sent the USS Maine to Cuba in order to protect American citizens and show that the U.S. still valued Spain's friendship. However, an explosion destroyed the Maine. Although the exact cause of the explosion was undetermined, the blame was pinned on the Spanish. The Delhomme letter was an intercepted letter sent by the Minister of Spain. In the letter, the minister described McKinley as weak and bitter for the admirations of the crowd. At this point, America was fed up with Spain. The only option was war. On April 25, 1898, the two nations were at war. The Spanish-American War was a quick war, lasting less than a year. The Americans got off on an early lead in the Battle of Manila Bay, where the entire Spanish Pacific Fleet was destroyed without any loss of American ships. America then took the fight to Cuba. McKinley's forces advanced on San Juan Hill, where Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders drove the Spanish back. The final battle at Santiago Harbor, where America destroyed the Spanish Atlantic Fleet, ended the war. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1898, greatly expanded America's influence in the modern world. McKinley gained control of the Spanish colonies in the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Guam, making America a world power. McKinley was also able to annex the islands of Hawaii, creating another state. McKinley also helped establish the open door policy with China. China could now interact with all the imperialistic countries independently. No country could completely own the Asian market. President McKinley ran again for president in 1900. He won and chose the well-known war hero Teddy Roosevelt as his vice president. However, his second term would not last long. McKinley was at the Pan American Exposition. It was there he gave his last speech. Let's listen to a bit of it.
My fellow citizens, trade statistics indicate that this country is in a state of unexampled prosperity. The figures show that we are furnishing profitable employment to the millions of working men throughout the United States. Our capacity to produce has developed so enormously, and our products have so multiplied, that the problem of more markets requires our urgent and immediate attention.
After he was done speaking, the president shook hands with attenders. At 4:07, he shook hands with Leon F. Salgaz, an anarchist believing the president to be the enemy of the people. He shot the president twice. President McKinley died 8 days later, leaving his vice president, Teddy Roosevelt, to lead the country. We hope you enjoyed your stay in the Hall of Presidents, and we hope to see you again.